So far, the government has focused on COVID emergency measures to protect jobs and companies. So what are the three main projects which will ensure Italy's share of the recovery fund creates jobs and ensures growth?
The measures we have taken so far has been decisive in containing the economic impact of the crisis and preserving our productive capacity and jobs. But the recovery and resilience plan will be oriented to the future, to the transformation of the Italian economy on the line of innovation, sustainability, and social and territorial cohesion. So we will focus the plan on investment, and investment aimed at enhancing our growth potential. So it would be investment in innovation like ultra broadband, cloud, supercomputing, European project of common interest like hydrogen, batteries, microelectronics. We would support the private sector to invest more in innovation and to support the process of reduction of carbon emissions. We would boost our infrastructure equipment, the immaterial infrastructure like broadband, but also material infrastructure, in particular in the south. And we will invest a lot in human capital, education, research.
Minister, Italian debt is a big concern for investors and foreign markets. You mentioned in your speech at the Ambrosetti Forum a new mechanism to reduce the debt-GDP ratio in a solid and sustainable way. Could you give us some details on how much you think it could lead to as a reduction?
We will present at the end of September our fiscal document, which will have not only a 3-year horizon, but also a longer-term horizon, where we will define a trajectory of reduction of our debt-GDP ratio that would be significant and sustainable. We have the opportunity to do that via medium-term fiscal measures, and also thanks to the impact on growth and growth potential of the productive investment that we will deploy with our Next Generation EU plan.
Your government has mentioned an 8% estimate for GDP contraction this year. Now, what do you think the true number will be? 8, between 8 and 10?
The 8% contraction forecast was a forecast done mid-April. As we said already, it will be revised downward. But contrary to other forecasts that have predicted a very significant decrease of GDP, two figures, thanks to the positive rebound that we are seeing for the third trimester, our downward revision will be limited, and we expect a one-figure reduction of GDP for 2020.
And for next year, for GDP?
Next year we will have a positive increase. We have not yet defined our forecast. You will see soon. And I think that in 2022 we will be able to arrive to our pre-crisis GDP level.
Right. Now, Italy's public finances have obviously taken a hit with COVID and with a national lockdown, one of the strictest in Europe. To what extent are Italy's public finances sustainable only because of the current support from the European Central Bank?
Monetary policy of ECB, of course, is extremely positive, but it has to be taken into account also the strong fundamentals of Italian economy that make our debt fully sustainable. I have to say also that we are seeing, even in this difficult moment of the crisis, for many months, since this government entered into force, also a very positive trend of fiscal revenue. As you know, we had a very significant downward revision of our deficit for 2019, and one of the factors that are making us improve our forecast for GDP is also the recent data on fiscal revenue, tax revenues, which are positive. So we have a number of elements which make us in the condition to define a trajectory which will further improve the sustainability of our public debt.